I want to give you this gift.
Oh boy.
Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom.
You.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thanks very much.
Okay, Bob. So here we are. You came to Vietnam on a monumental day. You couldn't have chosen a more special day to come and join us. And this is a day when Vietnam is upgraded to emerging markets, which spiritually, I'm emotional thinking about it because this has been years in the making, and it's a collective effort of a whole country. So I'm so glad that you're here to celebrate with us.
Well, congratulations to you, to this country. This doesn't happen just by accident. The people from FTSE don't sit in a room and choose to upgrade a country. There's a lot of hard work and data that gets presented, and and thoughtful analysis that has to be done, and there have to be people that are there advocating. And I know how you were there at the forefront advocating for this to happen.
Big change like this requires the whole ecosystem, from around, not only from the local participants, but the global ecosystem like the Nasdaq, to be supportive of our journey. But it also comes down to the human level. I mean, it is a really human business, as you know, and this is why having these conversations to me will always be the most special things to me about this business. Meeting people like you, Vice Chairman of the Nasdaq, and being able to, frankly, ask you anything I want. I got you some coffee because I know we've been.
I'm delighted to be here on this historic day, and
I really want to start sort of at the beginning in terms of the human level. In terms of why don't you share with our listeners a little bit about yourself, who you really are, your journey, how you became the vice chairman of the Nasdaq.
So I have a kind of circuitous journey. I came out of university, and I thought I was going to go to work in London, and while I was waiting for my working papers to come through, the crash happens. The person who hired me got fired, and so I recognized that I should do something probably different. I did the entrepreneurial thing first, so I was able to build a business. I borrowed some money. I bought a seat at the New York Stock Exchange.
Wow.
And built a business from there. And between regulation, technology, and customers that wanted you to do more and more for less and less, I couldn't see my future being on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, running an agency business anymore. And so I started looking around, and through a weird confluence of events, I always say, I ended up meeting up with Bob Greifeld, who was the CEO of Nasdaq at the time. And so, without any particular experience, they gave me responsibility for the new listings business.
Wow.
So I had capital markets and new listings, and then it started to move towards Southeast Asia. And I think that today's events and our focus on Vietnam is a central tenet for Southeast Asia and an opportunity for us, and so many fantastic entrepreneurs that are here building amazing businesses. That's why I continue to spend more and more time here with my teammates.
Well, we are definitely going to go back to Asia, Southeast Asia, and Vietnam's place within it. But before we go to that, I'd love to just have your brief summary of what the Nasdaq is, because I think a lot of our listeners might know just by headline. I view the Nasdaq as sort of the listing place of innovation, shall we say?
So the Nasdaq today is a $50+ billion market cap company. Okay. Last year in 2024, we did $5 billion in revenue. Nasdaq, I describe it as a technology company that owns exchanges.
Interesting.
Because the vast majority of our revenue and profits come from businesses that are outside of the exchange business. We provide technology to 135 exchanges all over the world.
Is your technology generally the backbone of the system, or is it bits and pieces depending on?
It's generally the backbone of the system. Okay. And we do everything from consulting all the way through basically running the exchange for exchange group. we look at ourselves as the trusted fabric of the global financial system. When people think of Nasdaq, they think we're the home for technology companies, which we
Yes.
are.
Yeah.
We have the 8 largest companies in the world listed on our market. Most of those are technology companies.
Help me understand how we should be looking at the U.S. market sitting here in Vietnam.
Well, if I had that crystal ball, I probably wouldn't be doing my job. But the realities are that the market is doing well. And 85% of the companies that are listed in the U.S. are U.S. companies. They continue to do very, very well. Lower interest rates are going to help the market, are going to help corporates. I think the economy continues to be very, very strong in the U.S. The consumer, they say, continues to be strong. Employment levels are very positive. So all of those factors are leading people to continue to invest in and push stocks higher. And the markets are strong, and we're delighted to see the markets being strong, and it means people are happy and they're spending money, which keeps the markets strong because corporates are doing well.
If I could ask you something about market structure, because I think investors over here in this region may not appreciate the market structure that in some ways is continuing to drive the U.S. market. So I would love for you to just share what you think are the underpinnings of the market structure in the U.S. that people should appreciate as they think about the sustainability of the U.S. market.
Well, I think there is an investment mentality in the U.S. It's interesting because the 2 major markets that we run, the U.S. and Stockholm, Sweden, are 2 of the largest markets in terms of participation by individuals. U.S. is 1 and Sweden is number 2, or actually could even be vice versa. So that there is a belief in the market, not just in the market in general, but in the corporates in the market, and investors are recognizing the fact that long-term wealth is being created by investments in the stock market. You're right. In the U.S., we have 401ks and other type of instruments. If you want to invest for your children's education or your grandchildren's education, there are education funds that can be invested in the market.
529s,
529 plans. So there are all kinds of different types of investment options. So more and more money coming in the market, supporting the market, which creates the underpinning for the market. And there's continues to be plenty of cash on the sidelines in the market. So any kind of downdraft in certain industries have brought more money into the market. And the 401k for virtually everybody is an evergreen type of product. So on January 2nd next year, there will be a brand new set of dollars, fresh dollars, that will come in that day and over the course of the year, based upon withdrawals from people's compensation that go into the market, and then those that have automatic investment plans set up. So back to fundamentally, the U.S. Investor is somebody who will continue to be in the market, which obviously supports the market, creates a good underpinning for the market.
Got it. And the reason I ask you about that is the asset management business in Vietnam, even though we do have a number of asset managers, is generally in its infancy stage, because we don't have these structures to drive investments and retirement funds and so on. So I think that's a major opportunity for Vietnam. I mean, I was just thinking about your visit to Vietnam, and given your background, given who the Nasdaq is, given your own professional history and bandwidth, you could be anywhere in the world at this moment. I mean, you could be anywhere in the world, but you've chosen to be in Vietnam on this day, on October 8th, 2025, and sitting here and having a coffee and a chat with me. So the big question I have for you is is what makes Vietnam interesting to the Nasdaq. I would love it for you to speak not only in terms of Vietnam in isolation, but how it sort of sits within your profile, how you see the world, how you see maybe Southeast Asia, and how Vietnam fits into all that.
Well, I think it's underappreciated.
Okay.
I think that today's announcement will begin to have the appreciation for the growth and the opportunity that exists here. I'm not sure everybody, again, didn't understand the nature of where Vietnam sat and the great opportunity that is offered here for corporates. But you have educated, hardworking citizenry. You have the government has put tremendous money into infrastructure here, the roads, the bridges, the telecom. There are, they've really focused on the things that will make this country successful. And when you look at different countries that are around the globe and you see ones that have such a great opportunity and ones that already have amazing businesses that have been built, are being built here, why wouldn't I want to spend time here? Why wouldn't I want to come to a place where the energy is high and the opportunity is great?
Yeah, well, that's actually a great point because if you know anything about this upgrade process for Vietnam, almost 10 years ago, if you were standing back in those days, or maybe even 3 years ago, you would say that's quite optimistic and quite unrealistic, because in many ways, I don't think we understood what it meant and what it took to be upgraded. But guess what, Bob? We did it. There's so much in the power of the will of this country, where we will set goals that look impossible, and somehow Vietnam makes the impossible possible. Going back to a little bit to market structure, because we're given that technology is such central to your story. The one thing that I have observed, and I'm observing now in Vietnam, is technology also accelerating here. And I think it's happening in ways that I think the average investor, local investor, may not appreciate. I would love to get your take on quant and DMA, because markets around the world, as I know it, go from high touch to low touch over time. I think the U.S. market now is probably, I'm guessing, 70% low touch in some form or another. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think Vietnam, I think that curve is going to accelerate faster, okay, given just the where we are in terms of development and how quickly we learn. We're beginning to see quant interest into Vietnam because of our volume is booming, and that alone attracts eyes. And the connectivity is through DMA types of solutions.
Today, every exchange on the planet is an electronic exchange. There's one in the U.S. who has a beautiful building,
Yeah.
but they're an electronic exchange too. Everybody trades electronically.
Okay.
So the reality is that has done a number of things. It's tightened spreads. It's deepened liquidity. It's created opportunity for there to be a deminimization all the way down to in the U.S. free for trading.
Okay.
And so that's brought in more participation. Again, tighten spreads, and then brings out more liquidity. And as you talk about bringing quants in, or let's just talk about liquidity providers.
Yeah.
The more liquidity providers you can have, the more liquid your market will be, the more your market will grow, the more participation you will have, the more confidence people have in the market, and which will drive more liquidity, more participation over time. So those are all really, really good things.
So I'm going to interrupt you here.
Yeah.
So number one, are these trends inevitable?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you're not going to hesitate.
No,
Okay,
no.
so there's and number two,
Especially in a market like this that just got upgraded today, you're going to have more participation because people are going to be more interested because you're going to have funds who are now going to be allowed to invest that were not allowed to invest before, and this is the way the market is. And I think bringing it to Vietnam, the interest in Vietnam by a new set of investors will bring more liquidity, which will in itself bring more liquidity, which in itself will bring more liquidity.
Exactly.
And then we'll give confidence to companies to come to the market because they'll recognize the fact that their stocks will be more liquid and be of interest to a brand new set of shareholders.
I learned that the three most important things in markets is liquidity, liquidity, and liquidity. I think you met with the SEC, you met with the key market participants so far on this trip. If right now you were king for a day, how about this? If you were Madame Phuong you were the queen for the day, what are the three things you would focus on in terms of the next level of development for this market?
Well, I'd say, first of all, in her role, she has one of the most important roles within all of the financial system, which is making sure that everything is surveilled and really have top-notch compliance across all of the brokers as well as the exchanges, because investors need to have confidence in the market, and unless you have a strong regulator, investors will not have confidence in the market. They will flee the market, and there's plenty of other markets for them to trade on around the globe. I'd say secondarily, I'm sure as the next generation of investors grows here in Vietnam, as well as the middle income become high middle income become wealthy, they're going to look for more and more financial products, and her challenge is going to be making sure that she is thoughtful in the way that she and I guess the central bank allow for new products to come to market, and in consultation with SSI and other brokers in the market, making sure that she can stay in front of those, because again, you don't want people to do things, unnatural things, to get access to products around the globe. And when they see the success of something like the Magnificent Seven, the Nasdaq 100, as those products are successful, you don't want a situation where people are fleeing to other markets to be able to trade those products. So the challenge, I think, for her and the team will be to thoughtfully, over some period of time, decide how to integrate global type of products into the local market, and then I think she'll probably, I'm sure, hopefully, be working closely with organizations like the IFC and others to make sure that we and I say that from a hopeful opportunity that we at Nasdaq will be involved. We'll be able to create world-class financial markets, financial institutions, financial ecosystem here in Vietnam, and we would be honored to work with her and the rest of the participants to be able to do that. We have great respect for all regulators, but I've been able to meet with her for a few times now, and think that they're doing a fantastic job here. And again, back to today, and hopefully this is just another step in a journey of being really focused on growing this market substantially over the next number of years.
Great. So look, Bob, I have to thank you and the Nasdaq for saving my butt today, because it's been one of those crazy days. But I always believe, actually, great people make great conversation. So on this occasion, Bob, I want to give you this gift, and I want to teach you the most important term in Vietnam, which is MI. Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom.
You.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thanks very much.